Well, hello and welcome to Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. I'm Misheard. We're going to do Season 3, Episode 137, and we're doing a Styx misheard song lyric. The song is called The Renegade, and the misheard song lyric is, "The renegade who had it made, they tripled the bounty." And the correct lyrics is, "The renegade who had it made, retreat for a bounty." Triple the bounty, that works. It makes sense. Okay, let's talk about it. So I knew of this song many years ago when I was married to my first husband. I call him my husband, who loved the song. And he and I thought for many years that the song was called The Gig Is Up. We had no idea it was called The Renegade because when you listen to the song, he says Renegade one time. I guess he says The Gig Is Up one time too, but I didn't catch The Renegade. So newsflash for those of you, it's called The Renegade by Styx. So let's talk about this song. Renegade, it's a 1979 hit song recorded by American rock band Styx, who I love, on their Pieces of Eight album. Who is Styx? Well, gosh, you should know who they are. But if not, let me enlighten you. Styx is an American rock band from Chicago. I mean, they got some good bands coming out of Chicago. Formed in 1972, my birth year. Hello. And it's best known for taking hard rock guitar, which I love, balancing it with acoustic guitar, synthesizers with acoustic piano, and they do a lot of upbeat track power ballads, and also adding some elements of international music theater. This is like the perfect mix of what the type of music, if I was creating out there in the world, I'd be doing. Hard rock, acoustic, synthesizers, upbeat tracks, power ballads, and international music. There you go. All you're missing is interpretive dance. All right. The band established itself as a progressive rock, prog rock is what I've heard. I've never heard that. It's so funny. In the sound in 1970s, and to incorporate some pop rock, popular rock, and soft rock elements of the 1980s. I mean, I love them because of their power ballads. And you'll know in a second, I mean, their lead singer and singers have amazing voices. I mean, they're one of my favorite. I mean, still, I love me a Steve Perry. I love me, Freddie Mercury, but they're high up there. So let's begin. So they began as Styx, S-T-Y-X, in 1972. The band usually releases an album every year throughout the 1970s. They were that busy. They did Styx 2 in 1973, a year later. Had that sleeper hit, Lady, power ballad, surprise, surprise, beautiful song, which reached about number 6 in the U.S., helping the album make the top 20. Lady was also a top 20 in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. And then another album, one of their many, Equinox, came out in 1975, and Crystal Ball in 1976 reached the US top 70 with the first featuring Lorelei, and at number 6 in Canada, while the second marked the addition of Tommy Shaw to the band. Tommy Shaw, amazing voice. All right. They had their commercial breakthrough in North America with the 1977 album called The Grand Illusion, which peaked at number 6 in both US and Canada, and became the first of 4 straight triple platinum albums in the US for Styx. Wow. It featured the single Come Sail Away, a top 10 hit in both countries. Now, funny side note, I think this song was played in one of the early, what's that cartoon that has Cartman? And you know what I'm talking about. I'm totally blanking, but it's Cartman, the cartoon, and he's like, come sail away, and he sings it in his Cartman voice. So very funny. Anyway, I digress. You'll know I'm talking about, listeners, and if you do, send me an email or send me something on my social media. I'll be like, oh yes, it's them. Yes. I can see it. Okay, so then the band's follow-up, Pieces of Eight, that's what we're talking about, in 1978, was another number 6 hit in the US, but peaked higher in Canada due to the top 10 hits Renegade, the song we're talking about right now, and The Blue Collar Man, Long Nights. In 1979, Styx Cornerstone went to number 2 in both countries on the strength of the cross-border number 1 hit, Babe. Babe, I'm leaving, must be on my way. Remember that song? The album became their breakthrough album in Australia and New Zealand, reaching the top 20, with Babe peaking at number 3. Babe was a number 6 hit in the UK, their first and only top 40 hit there, leading Cornerstone to be their first album to chart there at number 36. I did not know that. I love that song, Babe. All right, and then in 1981, God, they're churning them out. Styx came out with Paradise Theater. That was a #1 album in the US and Canada, while also reaching the top 10 in Scandinavia and the UK, their biggest album there, and the top 30 in Australia and New Zealand. The Best of Times, that's a good one, off the album reached #1 in Canada, #3 in the US, and top 30 in several other countries. While Too Much Time on My Hands was also a top 10 hit in North America. Wow, they are just cranking it. Now, here's one of my favorite as a kid, because I would see this all over the Northwest where I'm from in the United States. This little spray painted drawing or something, person called Kilroy. And so they came out with Kilroy Was Here in 1983. It was Styx's last major hit album. It reached #3 in North America and the top 10 in Scandinavia, although it was less successful elsewhere. Its lead single, Mr. Roboto, I love that song, became Styx's 3rd chart topper in Canada. Lots of great synthesizer in that. Was a #3 hit in the US and was their biggest hit in Germany, #8. And after a 7-year break, Styx came back with Edge of the Century, 1990, which reached #63, in the US with its single Show Me the Way, became a top 3 hit in North America in early 1991. Overall, they did great. They had 8 songs that hit the top 10 on the US Billboard Hot 100, as well as 16 top 40 singles. Whoa. 7 of their 8 top 10 singles were written and sung by founding member and lead singer Dennis DeYoung. I did not know that it was Dennis DeYoung, because I only knew Dennis DeYoung as a solo artist in the 80s when he sang, "Is this the train to Desert Moon?" was all she said. I love that song, Desert Moon. He hasn't been part of the band since the 1999s, but hey, he started off, and then of course Tommy Shaw, amazing voice. Styx sold over 20 million records for A&M between their signing in 1976 and 1984. So hopefully you got your Styxicology from me just in a second ago of who they are and what they've done. Okay, so let's talk about the song, because the song is so interesting. It starts a cappella, and it's really a letter to someone's mom about how they are now a renegade. They did something. He's a wanted man. So it's what they say written in first person narrative letter to a mother of an outlaw, captured for a bounty, right? Who recognizes that he is about to be executed for his criminal activities. The execution will be hanging, as the outlaw laments, "Hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I don't have very long." Right? Some pressings of the single were made with translucent red vinyl. Ooh, I wish I had that. Years after its release, it remains a staple on classic rock radio playlists, yes. And it's usually the final song Styx plays at its concerts. Good to know, because I've not been to a Styx concert yet, right? Although songwriter Tommy Shaw, and now lead singer, and fellow Styx guitarist James Young usually played lead guitar on their own composition, Shaw asked Young if he could take the solo on the Renegade. Young agreed, and Young later returned the favor by allowing Shaw to play lead on his Halfpenny, Twopenny on the Paradise Theater album. I love it. You do that? I do that. According to songfacts.com, this is what was said. It's one of those songs that kind of wrote itself. I wish I had one of those yet. Per Tommy Shaw, explaining in an ESPN interview, "I was in my house in Michigan in 1978 at the piano. I came up with a slow, dirgy thing, very dark. I just started singing. And those are the first words that came out. Oh, mama, I'm in fear of my life. I've never been in trouble with the law." And I don't know where it came from. It was like a sign of God, and hence Renegade was written. When performed live from 1978 to 1983, drummer John Panazzo increased the tempo of the drum pattern during the guitar solo sections. And then also the track would serve as a drum solo spot for Panazzo during that time frame where he'd show off his drum skills. That's good to know. Cashbox said it opens with that, I said, delicate a cappella sing, which suddenly breaks into powerful drum beat and rhythm guitar work. Because, you that, "Oh, mom," and it just all of a sudden, "The jig is up." So the band lineup at that time was Tommy Shaw, lead vocals, rhythm guitar, Dennis Young, keyboards, backing vocals, James J.Y. Young, no relation to DeYoung, lead guitar, backing vocals, Chuck Panazzo, bass drum, gotta be related to John Panazzo, same spelling, so I'm assuming they're brothers, drums. So that was the lineup of that time. And then lots of great Did You Know. So let me share. Remember that wonderful show back in the day? I think it was in the 90s, mid-90s, maybe late, Freaks and Geeks. It was used, this song, which, definitely gives that 70s vibe. The song was also featured in the 12th episode, very specific, of season 2 of the television series Supernatural, when Sam and Dean escape capture by the FBI. Makes sense. The jig is up. Yeah. The song was used in Adam Sandler's movies, both Big Daddy and Billy Madison, so he's a big fan of this. And all for you gamers, the song also appeared on Liberty Rock Radio in Grand Theft Auto 4, The Lost and the Damned, and the 4th episode of season 2 of The Umbrella Academy. I need to check that out. And then in sports, this is a big thing. It's used for a specific team. So it's commonly played at Heinz Field as an anthem for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those of you from Pittsburgh would know this. They play it between the 3rd and 4th quarter, especially during close games. Suppose it was started by the Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh. It typically plays in the second half when the team is on defense, accompanied by a Jumbotron video designed to pump up the crowd. As the song builds, the fans and players get hyped up, going into a frenzy when the scream comes in and the track picks up. And it's fueled by Styx-powered adrenaline. The defense often makes stands, setting the stage for a strong finish. So that's why they do it. Also, Milwaukee Brewers closer Josh Hader uses the song for his run-in music from the bullpen. I need like a theme song too when I run into somewhere. You know, oh, here comes Mel. It's your theme song, right? What would that be though? And then for those of you that used to follow, like me, American Idol in the early days, Chris Daughtry actually performed this song live on American Idol for the challenge. That episode at that time was songs from the year you were born. So he was born in the late 70s. So there you go. Did you learn a lot? I did. I also relived some beautiful Styx music that I love, and I might have to just download their greatest hits. I also love me a Styx, speaking of a child of 80s, and you'll get this if you're a child of 80s and or teen of 70s or whatever, is a lot of Styx songs were played at the local roller skating rink that I lived in as a young roller skating brat. I loved it. So there you go. And again, it's called The Renegade. And he's not singing about they tripled the bounty, it's retrieved for a bounty. But I think it still works. It's amazing. If you have any great suggestions, let us know. You can hit us up with any of our social sites, as well as send us an email at misheard, it's MISSHEARD songs @gmail.com, and we might give you a shout out. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.